before I thank Diwan, because photobooks are not appreciated enough in this country. So I'm really happy with this, with having you today. And there is a little that ended up with a little stand of photo books that people are showing their work right outside السينما هنا في زي 2 3 عارضين photo books بتاعتهم apart from this amazing panel على السينما على الشمال أول ما تطلعوا يعني. So today is Photo Book Appreciation Day. We are so honored to have Diwan bookstores on board. They're not just bookstores, now they are publishers. And we take pride in having them as our neighbors here in Cinema Radio. And I would like to Brigitte introduce our very valued photographers and speakers. But I would like to thank you for responding fast to this. And I would like to thank Wael for being so supportive. And I approached him in the store instead of approaching the owners directly, and he took it very seriously. Here's Wael over there. Yeah. And he took it very seriously, and he escalated it to like senior management. And for us, having an educational partner as Diwan fulfilled my dream of, and next year we will expand more and more on photo books, hopefully. There's also Rahab Dalil today at 4. She will also be signing her book, so it's like a photo book celebration day. Thank you again, Diwan and Brigitte. So just
very few words. My name is Brigitte Boulad. I organize the event and I'm the PR of Diwan Bookstore. I have started not long ago with them, so you will be indulgent with me because it's my first steps, like also what Marwa was saying, the photo book thing. As you know, Diwan has been here for the longest time, but Diwan publishing is also new, and it started very big with, as you know, all the Naguib Mahfouz re-editing of 12 of his books, with young designer doing a fantastic job with the cover of the books and making Naguib Mahfouz rocks, I think, if he could have been able to see them. We are very proud to have this collaboration with Photo Week, Cairo Photo Week, and we are also very honored to have the 3 photographers that I'm going to introduce. We have Kathrin Sombold, who is a German native, but Egyptian by heart and by living here, who did a beautiful book with Diwan called People of Sinai, that you can, it is interviews and pictures of the people that she interviews, and the book is here. You can see it afterward and have it signed by Kathrin. And we have Ashraf Talaat, who everybody knows, I realize when I see all the young people around him, who is really a name and an authority in the field in Egypt, and who has also here his book to be seen, bought and signed, called Moments of Life. And it is not only covering Egypt, but also all the places where Ashraf went and filmed and photographed. And we have our third speaker is Adel Wassily, who is also a known photographer and who have a very interesting and a different angle to Cairo. He has a book on Cairo during Corona time. And it is also here that you can see, which is really, he really captured an exceptional moment, we can say, as photography is always an exceptional moment, but in that case it is double exceptional. So you can, we will enjoy their talk. I'm leaving them alone on stage. There is no moderation. They are doing it and presenting their work. And after, if you are interested, we have the books here. Thank you very much for attending. And come and see Diwan in Radio. We have always something going on. And I also want to thank Wael and the whole team of Diwan, because they are really up to it and very engaged and excited to do the work. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. So we keep it in English. Malish, my Arabic is also not too bad. I could do it in Arabic, but let's keep it English. So I hope it will be clear for everyone. First of all, I'm so honored to sit here with the masters of photography. amazing, amazing. Thanks for inviting me. I would like to thank my publisher, Diwan, as well. Thanks, Bridget, for everything. Before I start talking about my book, I would like just tell you a couple of things about me, because I think to understand my book, you have to know a bit about my life. So I'm German, my husband is Egyptian. We met like 32 years ago in Germany, and then for every Egyptian that lives abroad, the time comes, they want to come back to their home country. And we decided at the time to move back to Sinai instead of moving straight to Cairo. At the time, I was already a trained photographer. I did a 3-year apprenticeship as a photographer in Germany. I worked in the theater and with architectural photographers. Then I studied communication design at the University of Essen. At the time, very famous in Germany, Folkwang School for Subjective Photography, Steinert, Professor von End, they were all teaching me. So I was a trained photographer when I came to Egypt. So when we started to live in the Sinai in the early 90s, this was 92, I had photography really not on my mind, because I just started my family, you know, my kids were little, I was living in the middle of the desert, so, but I had my camera with me, my Hasselblad, and I had like a dark room also with me in my house. So I started collecting images actually of Bedouin living around us. You know, I had a Bedouin girl that came to help me with my kids. So we started to establish this connection to the Bedouin community in Sharm at the time. So I started with these Bedouin shots, and then I thought, you know, once I'm here and I have nothing better to do, I can start taking shots of the community as it was at the time in Sharm el-Sheikh. So the community was a mixture of Bedouin, like people like myself, foreigners who came to live there, working in the diving business, entrepreneurs, really the pioneers of Sharm el-Sheikh. So I started to collect, and I came up with 33 pictures, and I thought pictures alone, it's not enough, so I also started to interview these people, okay? So 25 years later, this collection of black and white photos and portraits was published by Diwan. And this is my book, Sinai People, Faces of Time. So, oops. Oh, okay. So, as I said, I started to meet people there, starting from Bedouin businessmen. This is, for example, Mubarak. He had a diving center there. Then anyhow, I went around in my community and started to meet people that were really kind of representing the community in Sharm el-Sheikh at the time, which was, of course, also the newcomers that envisioned Sharm el-Sheikh as something to be the new Las Vegas. Malish, it's not going. Okay. Bedouin boys in the deserts. I had. It's not working. Can you do it? Can you just? Well, yeah. Okay. Okay. Go. Just click through. Yeah. So 5-star hairdresser in the Mövenpick Hotel, and they all had their individual stories why they were in a place like Sharm, you know, and how they envisioned the future of Sharm el-Sheikh. But mostly, really, it was people like myself. They loved nature. They loved Sinai as a place. Okay, just go forward. Yes. So I was really amazed by the variety of people I've met there, And again, all these pictures are taken by a medium format camera, Hasselblad, black and white negative. So I'm sure this is maybe one of our connections here. We are all over 50, so we still know what's analog photography. So this is all done in analog. Yeah, you can just go. Oh. This is a famous underwater photographer. Some of these people, by the way, they still live in Sharm el-Sheikh. They still are a vital part of the community there. Of course, the life changed in the last 30 years. I mean, Sharm now is it's a different place with really high-end touristic ventures. But at the time, it was really like a small community. Everyone knew everybody, and we just hang out together. Yeah, just go. Okay. This guy also is still there. Adel Wassily, he's the owner of bus stop Le Pasha there. So okay, just go. Okay. And then you have the contrast to the regular Bedouins that I visited with the help of my husband, of course. My Arabic at the time wasn't really good, was very poor. So I needed really people to build the bridge to them because of the language. This is Abu Saif, Ibn Salah Abu Saif, Khalid, one of the first people that actually built like a house in Hadaba. In Hadaba Road. Dr. Adel Tahir, also he's still there. He's the head of the diving chamber, decompression chamber. So with this picture, yeah, okay, here we have another Bedouin sheikh in the desert. Okay, go. So anyway, about my book, you know, I started collecting these images and I thought I did something really like capturing the time, you know, and nobody else did it in the way I did it. I feel, I mean, this is because it's all 33 pictures that have the same strengths and they go with the interviews. So it's really a part of Egyptian history, you know, Sharm or South Sinai in the early 90s. These are also some diving pioneers. They are still there, Rolf and Petra. Ashraf Shafsha, I don't know, maybe some of you might know a couple of these people. They are all like real Sharm icons, I would say. Okay, the Luxors, the starters of the beach activity business, you know. It wasn't there like before, you know. They were the first people that had that land surfboards there or like small canoes. This is just a picture of the taxi because it was driven by a lady. She didn't want to have her picture taken at the time, Mona. She was the only female taxi driver in Sharm el-Sheikh. Ahmed Sharif, also one of the first locals in Hadaba, C Street. Okay. Yeah, she was an amazing Bedouin lady, you know. It's actually quite hard to get to know the Bedouin ladies because they are quite shy and they don't want to have their picture taken in the first place. But for some reason, she opened up and she let me take this shot. Dr. Jim Dinsmore, who was the head of the World Wildlife Fund at the time. And then just I have regular normal stories. This guy was a Bawab from Upper Egypt at the time, also working in Hadaba. Guy from the market, Aswani. Okay, so you have to imagine I had the collection of all of that. I had the interviews, I had the pictures, but I didn't know what to do, where to go, who can publish this stuff. But and after 25 years, I have not found anyone to show interest in my book, you know. And this is maybe, so my story is maybe a story of yeah, I never gave up because I knew that I did something amazing, you know, and something important for the area and for Sinai as a whole. So when I met the Diwan people, I just caught them, you know, I caught their interest. They thought it's an important project to publish, and these were the first designs of the logo of the book. Okay, and so, yeah. And these are just some promotional stuff, you know. So the book is about pioneers, divers, dreamers, and more. A unique document about a unique time, yes, definitely. Okay. And then I had to come up also with stuff that really made, I mean, this is the key word, you know, Sinai is a place where your soul is, was, and will be at peace, you know. And when you read all the interviews, they all come back to this point, you know, why Sinai was such an important place at the time for so many people and for so many different people. And if you read the interviews, they all focus on this point, you know, what were you searching for in the Sinai? What does it give you, you know, what's this experience you have there in the combination with the nature, you know. This is a picture of 1982 of Nama Bay.
It's beautiful.
This was just at the very beginning when Sinai came back to Egypt. This is the, I mean, now of course it looks different, yeah. I mean, but this is, I found in Egypt, you know, you cannot hold it, you know. It's just developing all the time, you know. And now it looks completely different, just like shots. Okay, go. Again, go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Again, the same shot, black and white. This is another shot also. It's not taken by me, this picture. It's Rolf Schmidt's picture. It's also Nama Bay from the Sonesta up here. So this was really at the very, very beginning, you know. You can just see there were just a couple of huts for people to start their diving, daily diving there. And now it's a completely different thing. I'm sure you all have been to Nama Bay or to Sharm, so it's a completely different thing now. Okay, so this is how the design of the book looks like. You have 33 black and white shots, and then it just goes with the interviews. Some interviews are longer, of course, some are very short. Most of the interviews with the Bedouins specifically quite short. Okay, go. Yeah. He has a beautiful interview, really. I love this one. He really talks about how life for the Bedouin changed as well, you know, and how this time factor changed for them, you know. Before they used to go travel for days with their camels to see their families in certain areas, and that this is maybe the most strange. This is just also to show that we worked with the analog photography. So analog means you had negatives, you had the contact sheets, and then just to show you how the process was. Yeah, this is also like how I organized my logistically the interviews, how I had to meet people, and it's just okay, go. And no, again. Yeah, this also was all recorded on actually a floppy disk that I had to kind of recover 25 years later, and because all the interviews were done on floppy, which is like an ancient thing also nowadays. Here also I have the original dates of shooting. So I started October '96 with collecting the images, and I think I worked on the whole thing for like 2 years. Okay, this is just a cup of shot. Okay, go. No, forward. This is just some of my kids. Okay. And this is also again a shot that because we moved then to an area it's called the Royset, and we really lived for 1 year without electricity in the Bedouin community, you know, and just to show how my kids were kind of My husband, okay. Okay. This was the house we had in the desert, you know, when we...
Love it.
Yeah, thank you. But this was also the area, the Bedouin area. This is where I said it's shot from an airplane that when I landed, you know. And this is me in my working environment, you know, my daughter holding the flash and me in the middle of the desert, my husband smoking a cigarette, and then, yeah, no one there, you know. It's just... That's also at the very beginning, how I said, from the mountain. This is just how some of the Bedouin were living at that time in Royset. This is again a picture of my house. Well, I mean, to cut a long story short, I mean, I don't want to wait too much. This was, the book is my life in Sinai at the time, and just by publishing it, I really want to thank Diwan again. You know, they gave like a present to you guys, to the Egyptians, to people that love Sinai, and thank you so much. That's all.
طيب مساء الخير، انا معلش هتكلم بالعربي. ولو حد عايز اي ترجمه بالانجليزي لو مش فاهم ممكن نعمل كده بعد شويه. في الاول طبعا انا متشرف ان اكون موجود في اولا انا بتشرف طبعا ان اكون قاعد على منصه فيها كاترين واشرف، طبعا استاذ كبير قوي في الفوتوغرافيا. يعني هو يمكن ما يعرفنيش بس انا اتعلمت على ايديه طبعا في حاجات كتير، لان دايما بحضر محاضرات وبصير بحضر محاضرات وبشوف شغل باستمرار. ودي حاجه بصراحه جميله وبشكره على شغله باستمرار، حتى لو هو مش عارف ان في ناس بتستفيد من ده، هو ما يعرفهمش بصوره مباشره. ثانيا بشكر الديوان طبعا ادت لنا الفرصه ان احنا نتواجد معاكم، وبشكر كايرو فوتو ويك لان فعلا هي مناسبه جميله جدا كل بتحصل كل فتره. لكن هي فعلا انا بعتبره مهرجان، الناس كلها بتتعرف على بعض، بتتعرف على شغل بعض، بيبقى فيه مناقشات جميله، بيبقى فيه ندوات وتوكس كتير. يمكن انا السنه دي نظرا لظروف صحيه ما قدرتش احضر السنه دي قوي، لكن انا فاكر من سنتين كنت تقريبا بحضر كل يوم الصبح بالليل، كانت حاجه مفيده جدا بصراحه، وانا بشكر هذا المجهود العظيم اللي بتعمل. اتكلم شويه عن شغلي. انا اصلا مهندس مدني، وعلاقتي بالفوتوغرافيا جت متاخر جدا. انا راجل عجوز شويه، انا عندي 60 سنه. ما كنتش بصور لغايه بعد ما اتخرجت من الكليه هندسه عين شمس، يمكن باكتر من 10 سنين. ما كنتش اعرف اي كاميرا ولا عمري صورت ولا اي حاجه خالص. لكن بعد كده زي ما بيقولوا نداها ندهتني كده، وابتديت اهتم بالفوتوغرافيا، علمت نفسي بنفسي، يمكن عشان اللغات تبقى سهله شويه. للاسف المكتبه العربيه عندنا فقيره جدا في كتب الفوتوغرافيا، ايا كانت كتب تعليميه او كتب بتعرض شغل لناس مصورين. انا اهتماماتي اصلا، انا راجل يساري، وبالتالي اما غصب عني لما جيت ابتدي اصور فبصور بني ادمين. المهمشين هم ابطال صوري دائما وابدا. المناطق الشعبيه هي ابطالي في الصور دائما وابدا. يمكن عملت كذا تجربه قبل كده، عملت معرض في القاهره في مصر باستمرار، عملت بره مصر اكتر من معرض. كان ليا تجارب في كتب مختلفه. عملت كتاب عن الحياه الاجتماعيه في ميدان التحرير ايام ثوره 25 يناير، والكتاب كان اسمه حياه الميدان. ودي كانت فرصه بالنسبه لي، انا كده كده موجود في ميدان التحرير، وطبعا انا ما بتحركش غير الكاميرا في الغالب يعني. كنت بصور مش الضرب والمواجهات اللي كانت بتحصل ايام الثوره، لان ده اتغطى من مليون حد تاني. كان عندي فرصه تانيه ان انا اصور، بما اني موجود في الميدان كده كده، بما اني عارف الناس وعارفيني، فكان سهل ان انا اصور حياه الناس جوه الميدان، حياه اجتماعيه. الناس في الاوقات الريلاكس ما فيهاش ضرب، ما فيهاش عنف، بيعملوا ايه؟ ايا كان الاطفال بقى، في ناس بتعلم اطفال رسم، في ناس بتغني بعود، في ناس بتريح، في ناس بتوزع اكل، ما الى هذا من الحياه الاجتماعيه في بلاد التحرير. بعدها عملت كتاب آخر كان تجربة مشتركة بيني وبين كاتبة فلسطينية كانت بتعمل دكتوراه هنا في مصر، الدكتورة مليحة مسلماني، والكتاب ده كان اسمه سكة الطير. هي كانت عاملة نص كتابة عن مصر وأنا كنت عامل نص صور. النصين دول بيلتقوا في أوقات وبينفصلوا في أوقات، يعني ممكن تقرأ في بعض الأوقات الكتاب كان عبارة عن صفحة يمين كتابة نص أدبي، صفحة شمال صورة، لكن في أوقات الاثنين بيلتقوا مع بعض وفي أوقات بينفصلوا مع بعض، يعني ممكن تقرأ النص لوحده وممكن تقرأ نص الصور برضه لوحده. وممكن لما تشوفوا مع بعض فيهم ازاي بيلتقوا في اوقات وبينفصلوا. اللي عايز اقوله كان معظم شغلي اصلا بما اني راجل مهتم بالمهمشين ومهتم بالفقراء ومهتم بالمناطق الشعبيه مش العشوائيه او الشعبيه. فكل شغلي كان البطل الرئيسي فيها الاشخاص المهمشين والمناطق القديمه. يمكن كمهندس كمان انا ده بيشجعني وبيساعدني اكتر ان انا بحب المعمار قوي والمناطق القديمه، بحس ان في تراث وتاريخ متراكم على هذه المناطق وهذه الشوارع تلك الشوارع. جت الكوفيد كورونا في 2020 وقبل ما يعملوا حظر التجول هنا في مصر او يقفلوا كان العالم كله بيتكلم عن مجهول كارثي، في كارثه بتحصل في العالم، في ناس بتموت، في اغلاق تام في مناطق كتير. يمكن مصر اتاخرنا شويه في اخذ قرار الاغلاق، ودي كانت بصراحه معرفش فرصه بالنسبه لي او ده اللي حصل يعني. الناس كلها خافت وقعدت في البيت فانا ابتديت انزل اكني بالظبط بروح شغل كل يوم بالظبط. بنزل كل يوم من 8 صباحا او 9 صباحا لغايه الاغلاق ايا كان الاغلاق امتى. نزلت اصور لان انا اعتقد ان المفترض ان اي حد بيتعامل مع اي نوع من انواع الفنون او الادب هو بيلعب ببساطه شديده على خيط صغير قوي ما بين الواقع والمتخيل. الواقع اللي موجود واللي الانسان او الفنان واتمنى اكون يعني هذا اللقب يعني ان بيبقى دايما متخيل داخل الدماغ. انا نازل بصور متخيل انها فرصه بالنسبه لي جدا ان انا بحب المعمار جدا بتاع القاهره، خاصه الخديويه، خاصه معمار مصر الجديده، خاصه وسط البلد طبعا العمارات الخديويه وشارع رمسيس بقى والعتبه والاماكن المختلفه في شبرا وحاجات بالشكل ده. فقلت فرصه ان انا اتفرج على المباني دي والشوارع دي وهي فاضيه. فاضيه لان الناس كانت خايفه فعلا تنزل. ما كانش ممنوع على فكره النزول في 90% او 80% من الصور دي كان مسموح الناس تنزل، بس المحلات كلها مغلقه مقفوله، ما كانش في غير سوبر ماركت قليلين حتى اللي فاتحين، لكن الناس كانت خايفه. في بعض الصور نزلت كسرت الحظر للاسف ونزلت فيها عشان اصورها، لكن معظم الصور دي كان الناس متاح ليها انها تنزل. فانا كنت نازل في الاول على اساس ان فرصه كمهندس وبحب المعمار ومصور فهصور مباني جميله والشوارع جميله انا بحبها وهي فاضيه تماما. الزحمه بتاعت الناس ما بتخليش الواحد يشوف جمال التفاصيل المعماريه وجمال الشوارع القديمه دي. فنزلت الاول بهذا الهدف، ولكن صراحه شديده في الاول كنت بنزل بالهدف ده في اول يوم تاني يوم، بس طبعا بتابع الاخبار غصب عني. فابتديت اشوف ان هم مثلا يوم هيقفلوا ميدان العتبه، فلما يقفلوا ميدان العتبه ده، ميدان العتبه ده انا اعتقد طبعا هو اسحب ميدان في مصر كلها مش في القاهره بس. وفي الغالب اللي يعرف ميدان العتبه ما بيشوفش اسفلت، انت بتمشي الناس اللي بتزقك انت رايح فين مش انت اللي بتقرر رايح فين. واعتقد ان ميدان العتبه ده ممكن يكون من ازحم الميادين على مستوى العالم، يعني ما كانش ازحمهم بيبقى من ازحم الميادين على مستوى العالم. فجأة بلاقي إن بكرة الصبح يقفلوا ميدان العتبة، فأنا أروح ميدان العتبة عشان أصور، فلاقي ميدان العتبة ده فاضي تماما. أنا طول عمري صورت في ظروف صعبة شوية بالنسبة للأمن، أيام ثورة أو أيام حاجات مختلفة، فكان دايما الأمن هو اللي بيحاول يقبض علينا وبيقبض علينا للأسف. آه يعني بيحصل، لكن ربنا بيستر يعني. بعد شويه بقى في بعد ثوره 2011 بقى في حكايه مواطنين شرفاء اللي هم بيشوفوا اي كاميرا، انت معاك كاميرا يبقى انت جاسوس على طول. وبالتالي بقى المواطنين الشرفاء كمان بقوا بيخوفوا في موضوع التصوير في الشارع. المره دي بقى كان في تريبل خوف، يعني في خوف من الشرطه، وطبعا اتقبض عليا برضو اكتر من مره وحكيت الحكايه في الصور دي، وخوف من المواطنين الشرفاء، بس المره دي كانوا مش موجودين، لكن المره دي كمان كان في خوف من مجهول. الاعلام العالمي كله والاعلام المصري بيتكلم دايما عن المجهول ده، اللي احنا مش شايفينه لكن هو بيطردنا، بالعكس ده مش بيطردنا بس، ده بيموتنا كمان. يعني في ناس بتموت وفي ناس بتصاب ومستشفيات مليانه ومستشفيات لازم تكون اكتر، وكان لسه طبعا في مصل ولا في اي حاجه خالص. وبالتالي كان خوف زياده قوي من المجهول. فلما الاقي ده العتبه ده وانا رايح اصوره طلع الكوبري على رجليا، فانا سامع رجلي على الاسفلت وقلبي بيدق، وده كانت حاجه غريبه جدا على فكرة بالنسبه لي، كانت موضوع مختلف. ابتديت مثلا اصور، يقولوا تاني يوم ان هم هيقفلوا الجوامع، مش هيعملوا صلاه الجمعه، ممنوع صلاه الجمعه. فاروح مسجد الحسين علشان اصور الساحه اللي قدام المسجد وهي فاضيه، لان ده اول يوم. لان طبعا دي حاجه استثنائيه جدا، عمرنا ما فكرنا. يعني في مناطق تقريبا صاحيه 24 ساعه في مصر. القاهره في مقوله دايما القاهره لا تنام، وده حقيقي. القاهره لا تنام، واللي ماشيين الصبح في الشارع غير اللي ماشيين بالليل، تحس ان هم ناس بتطلع وناس بتدخل وناس مختلفين تماما. فلما يقفلوا مسجد الحسين او يقفلوا الجامعه كلها في صلاه الجمعه، يمنعوا صلاه الجمعه في الجوامع علشان خاطر الكوفيد، فانا اروح اصور فيتقبض عليا عشان بصور حاجه كويسه. يعني دي مشاكل بتبقى كتير موجوده. الصوره دي مثلا لقيت نادرا كنت بلاقي ناس في الشارع، كانت حاجه قليله جدا، بس شفت فرحين بصراحه. عريس وعروسه، والعروسه لابسه فستان الفرح وهم بيكسروا فعلا فكره الحظر الوهمي اللي هو مش حقيقي قوي بالنسبه للناس. يعني هم رسميا مسموح لهم يمشوا في الشارع، فدول عملوا فرح في عند عابدين. هم كانوا طبعا عدد افراد قليل، يعني 5 6 افراد، والتانيين المجموعه الثانيه كان برضه 5 6 افراد عند البرج. فدول تقريبا المواطنين الوحيدين اللي حسيت انهم كسروا حاله الحظر ومتوافقين مع موضوع الكتاب. لكن بقيه الصور الكتاب كانت فراغ شديد جدا. الفراغ الشديد ده عمل بالنسبه لي حاله من حالات الرعب. انا اول مره اهتم بتصوير، انا بصور لاندسكيب بس قليله، يعني مش كتير. لكن انا مش شايف الصور دي لاندسكيب على فكره. هو الصور دي يمكن نسميها توثيق مرحله، يمكن احتمال. الصور دي يمكن نسميها، انا شايف بني ادمين على فكره حتى في الشوارع الفاضيه دي، حاسس باحساس روح البني ادمين اللي كانوا بيعدوا في الاماكن دي باستمرار. آه، بعد شويه كنت ببقى خايف وانا بصور بصراحه، وحسيت ان جمال المعمار وجمال الشوارع دي فقد كتير قوي من عدم وجود الناس معاه. وحتى كتبت جملتين بس كده في الكتاب ان آه، لا مكانة لمكان إلا بأهله. يعني جمال المكان مش بس بمعماره، مش بس في شوارعه، لكن كمان وجود الناس اللي عايشين فيه بصورة يومية، ده بيضيف أكتر لجمال المكان. فعملت التجربة دي، وبصراحة في الأول كنت بحاول أعرض شوية على الفيسبوك زي ما كان أول فترة الكوفيد على مستوى العالم وعلى مستوى مصر. كان كل واحد بيحاول اللي يحط فيلم الناس تتفرج عليه، واللي يقول شعر، واللي الناس بتتسلى. وأنا بصراحة كنت برضه بعمل نفس الحكاية، بنزل الصبح أصور وأرجع أحط بعض الصور على الفيسبوك. فلقيت إن الناس مبسوطة بالحكاية دي. ولو اتأخرت شوية كنت بنزل الصبح برجع على أول الحظر. بصراحة الكلاب في الشوارع، أنا بحب الكلاب، فكنت بأكل الكلاب في الشوارع كل يوم، لأن كل المحلات كانت قافلة، مش فيش أي مجال للأكل. فما كنت أتأخر شوية يوم أكتر من الميعاد اللي في الغالب كان بيبقى 7، ألاقي الكلاب منتظراني في الشارع. كمية كلاب عدد رهيب جدا بيبصوا لي بعتاب. واطلع افتح الفيسبوك عشان احط صور، فلاقي رسائل كتير قوي في صور النهارده، اكني بالظبط ان ده مطلوب مني، زي مطلوب مني ان انا احط صور للناس، ومطلوب مني ان انا احط اكل وميه للكلاب والقطط في الشارع. بعد شويه فكرت طب وليه انا ما كنتش وانا بصور على فكره ما بفكرش الصور دي هعمل بيها ايه، انا ما اعرفش، انا بصور وبس. اما لقيت في تراكم من الكتاب كده، لقيت صور كتير، فقلت طب ليه ما نفكرش ان انا اعمل معرض. بس طبعا في فتره الكورونا دي فكره المعرض فكره يعني برضو ما فيش اماكن مفتوحه وكان صعب، فجت فكره الكتاب. هضيف شويه لكلام كاترين، قالت كلام مهم قوي في حكايه نشر الكتب. المكتبة العربية عندنا فقر فيها كتير جدا في نشر الكتب. الكتب بتبقى تكلفتها عالية، خاصة طباعة الألوان. للأسف الشديد التكلفة عالية جدا. ودور النشر ما بيهتموش قوي، أو ما كانوش بيهتموا قوي بصراحة بنشر أو دعم كتب صور. بيحسوا إن هي مش هتتباع، أو هتبقى تكلفتها كبيرة، فهتبقى سعرها في البيع عالي، فممكن ما يعوضوش الفلوس اللي هم دفعوها. مع اني شايف ان ده دور مهم جدا لدور النشر، ودور مهم جدا للدوله ووزاره الثقافه ان هي تتبنى هذا الموضوع. وبطرح كمان على الفوتو ويك على فكره، كان الفوتو ويك ان هو ليه ما يتبناش تجارب مش لازم الناس زيي، ممكن يكون ناس شباب اكتر ما يقدروش يعملوا ده. الكتاب ده انا طبعه على حسابي، لان كان في وعد من اكتر دور نشر ان هم يعملوه، وفي الاخر يعني ناجل 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 ناجل، وفي الاخر طرحوا علينا نعمله ابيض واسود. الابيض والاسود طبعا ليه قيمه، بس مش كل صوره الوان تنفع تبقى ابيض واسود، مش كل صوره ابيض واسود تبقى الوان. يعني قصدي ده فكره مختلفه خالص. هم كانوا بيطرحوا الموضوع ده من حيث التكلفه، فعايزين ان التكلفه تبقى اقل، فيعملوه بتكلفه اقل. فبصراحه انا رفضت، وحسيت ان دي مش صور ابيض واسود، دي ما تنفعش صور ابيض واسود، ده موضوع مختلف خالص. يعني الابيض والاسود محتاج كتر وفراغ، مش هو ده الموضوع. والتجربه خلاص حسيت انها خلاص انتهت ومش هتتعمل. وبعدين فكرت في الاخر، قلت طب واي نوت، انا هعملها على حسابي وانا اخد تجربه، واحاول ابيع الكتاب بقدر الامكان. على الاقل مش هكسب من الكتاب طبعا، اتمنى اكسب، بس على الاقل ان انا آه، ما اخسرش كتير يعني. وقدمت على التجربه بصراحه، اولا لاني انبسطت من التجربه استثنائيه، كانت فتره استثنائيه جدا 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 على مستوى العالم وعلى مستوى مصر. وكانت فتره استثنائيه كمان بالنسبه لي، انا مش بتاع قعده بيت، انا بتاع نزول الشارع اكتر من اللازم. وبالتالي لو كنت قعدت في البيت كنت هكتئب اكتئاب شديد جدا. واعتقد في ناس كتير فتره الكورونا حصل لهم مشاكل نفسيه، او ناس اتطلقت، وفي مشاكل كتير حصلت يعني. فانا اعتقد كنت هدخل برضه في حاله اكتئاب شديد، لكن ده ساعدني ان انا ما ادخلش في الاكتئاب. بالعكس كنت مستمتع، والناس كانت بتشجعني اكتر من اللازم، لدرجه كل يوم بيستنوا في الميعاد المناسب ان انا فين صور النهارده. فبقى الموضوع في الاخر بعد شهرين مثلا تعبت بصراحه، حسيت إن أنا مش قادر انزل كل يوم، تعبت، محتاج ان انا يوم حتى اريح. اما بصيت على الصور كلها على بعض، انا مصور طبعا عدد كبير قوي من الصور دي هنا عدد مثلا قولي 112 113 صوره، عشان كده كل 120 صفحه. انا مصور الاف طبعا من الصور، لكن دول اللي اخترتهم حاولت تكون نماذج معبره عن فتره الكورونا. مش معبره عن فتره الكورونا، هي معبره عن رؤيتي الشخصيه لفتره الكورونا. لان انا بعتقد ان المصور هو مش بيصور اللي قدامه، هو بيصور احساسه للحاجه اللي هو شايفها. حتى لو بصور بورتريه على فكره، فانا لو بصور حضرتك دلوقتي، فانا مش بصورك انت، انا بصور انا شايفك ازاي. ولو انا مش حابب الحاجه اللي انا بصورها دي، ايا كان بقى شخص مكان وات ايفر، اعتقد الصوره هتطلع ناقصه كتير. اللغه في حد ذاتها، التصوير في حد ذاته لغه. فعشان كده بحاول بقدر الامكان ان انا ما اكتبش كلام جنب الصور، لان الصوره لغه، واللغه بتبقى سهله جدا في الوصول للناس بسهوله شديده جدا. فعملت التجربه دي، والتجربه دي عملتها برضو علشان يمكن اشجع ناس تانية كتير يكون بيصوروا اكيد احسن مني مليون مره، واشطر مني في الايديتنج وفي الطباعه وكل ده، بحيث ان احنا ممكن نبتدي مع بعض نفتح سكه ان احنا يبقى من حقنا ان احنا ننشر كتب، يبقى من حقنا نصور في الشارع، ما يبقاش كل حاجه ممنوع ممنوع ممنوع. انا مهندس والكتاب اللي عليا فيقول لك انت مهندس، ايه علاقتك بالتصوير؟ وده من قديم الازل بيحصل هذا الموضوع. رحت على فكره جهات مديريه الامن، ورحت دار الاستعلامات، هل في تصريح فوتوغرافي؟ قال لك لا مفيش حاجه خالص. طب ادوني ورقه كده، ما بيدوش ورقه. لكن اعتقد بظهور الموبايل وانتشار الموبايل بهذا الشكل، وكاميرات الموبايل كمان بقت متميزه، فده هيساعد، هيخلي عدد كبير قوي يصور بالموبايل، فيمكن ده يفتح سكك اكتر في حدود الممنوع المتراكم ده. لكن انا اتمنى بجد ان ناس كتير، كل واحد ما بيصور في البيئه بتاعته هيبقى اكتر كتير قوي، احسن ما واحد يروح منطقه تانيه. انا بدعو ان كل الناس نشارك مع بعض في انتاج كتب فوتوغرافيه، ليا او لغيري، مش لازم ليا، كل واحد ينتج، يمكن اصحابه او معارفه يساعدوه شويه في التكلفه او في البيع، تسويق اكتر او حاجه بالشكل ده، بحيث ان هو على الاقل ما يخسرش، يقدر يستمر في هذا الموضوع. بدعو الديوان طبعا وكايرو فوتويك، وبدعو دور النشر المختلفه ان هم يتبنوا بعض من الكتب، ولو كل سنه يبقى معروف ان في كتابين ثلاثه كل دور نشر اي مكان ممكن يتبناهم ويطبعهم، علشان نحاول نبني المكتبة العربية. والصور طبعا مش هتبقى عربية بقى، الصور دي لغة في حد ذاتها ممكن تنتشر في كل حتة في العالم. أرجو أكون ما طولتش عليكم، وأرجو يكون كتابي مناسب، أو يعني أكون نجحت في إن أنا أنقل فكرتي عن فترة الكورونا اللي أنا عشتها في هذا الموضوع. شكرا جزيلا.
ابتدي وخلاص انت قلت كل حاجه. اقف احسن عشان فاتكلم عشان النفس. آه، ال- أنا مش عارف أقول يعني عايزين نتكلم عن الكتاب فقط ولا أتكلم عن عن التصوير ولا عن الكومبوزيشن ولا يعني anything you want I can speak on Deutsch auch. About, okay. I started photography 5 years ago when I was 14. Moments in our life. It's a book. I made it through photographs I made in 35 years. Within 35 years. It's just, I published before this book another 3 books. This is my 4th book. But this kind of photographs which I collected here, it's 7 chapters, and I selected these 7 chapters. Let's see. First chapter is the circus, which I spent 1 year for this chapter. And I published this story in National Geographic in 1916. In 2016. Yes, yes. I'm sorry, because I'm so old. That's all I'm. Yes, yes. 2016, I published this story, and I spent 1 year visiting in a regular basis the circus to document this story. The second weekend in China, during my work in China, I spent 3 months in China working in 8,000 kilometers from Tibet till Mongolia. During these 3 months, I photographed the minorities, like the Tibet people, like the Muslims, like Uyghur, like all of these minorities people who living there. And during the weekends, I captured how the Chinese living. And I collect these photographs and I publish it in this book. Wow. Oh, there's something wrong. Let's go back. Yes. Life next to the ocean in Zanzibar. It also was the topic. It was an assignment first to go to National Geographic to photograph the cultural. It was a cultural project, but during my visit there, I found that the life in Zanzibar next to the ocean is completely different than any other place. People are so connected with the ocean, fishing, swimming, playing, and it was so interesting for me to document this. It's all photographs I made it for myself during my assignments. In our time, it's a variety of photographs from different topics I collected to show that in our time something may be different in the book. And India, the paradise of diversity, because I went to India 16 times working there for different projects. And during these projects also I collected some pictures to be in this book. There is faces. I like portraits because I started shooting portraits when I was as a studio photographer when I was young. I started when I was 14 years old till 20 years old. I used I shoot only people, only portraits, studio portraits during that time. Of course, at our time it was with the large format cameras. It was a shame that anybody shoot with 35 mils at that time. Everybody used large format or medium format the modern photographers using medium format, but the classic photographers at that time using all large format cameras. And then between the mountains in Nepal, also during my assignments in Nepal and Himalayas, I made a few pictures I added to this book. So this book is It's photographs I made for myself, and I made to publish it for myself, not for any assignment. Some of them I used it in assignments, but most of it it's mine. It's my hobby, not my professional work. Yeah, like, let's see. This is in the circus. George putting his makeup. I asked him during that day. He used to make modern makeup, like putting green, red bowl in his nose, and I asked him, please, can you do me a favor? He said, what do you want? I'm so busy. Please, can you make for me classic makeup? I said, yes, I can do it at the 30s or 40s. I said, no, the makeup of the 30s. And he started to put the makeup of the 30s. He's from Armenia, by the way. And his dog was sitting beside him like this. And then somebody knocked at the door on my left side. Then the dog started to look. Who's knocking at the door? At that moment, it was this picture. And I like it because the dog is looking to the left side, not to George. And also I captured the practice. Yes, the practice. Now they practice during the day. Yeah. At that day, they made the curtain of Charlie Chaplin. It was new. Behind the scene, after anybody finished, after all the players, when they finish their work in the circus, when they get behind the scene, when they return backstage, they open the curtain and return back. And I found, this could be a big, amazing picture for me if I stand when Natalie, after the show, when she returned backstage, that I can capture this moment when she opened the curtain with Charlie Chaplin in the composition. فاتن الحلو, circus. After the show, of course, they return back the snake to his home. This is the modern makeup for George with the red nose, and he was looking for Ibrahim al-Helw making practice during the day, and I captured this. This is on China during the weekend while they do sports, they play yoga, they play cards. During the weekends in China, they are like this. I like this, how this guy is concentrating and he's putting his hand. It's amazing. I found everybody is concentrating. Nobody look at me. I'm just. Invisible person. Yeah, like this. This is the Muslims area where they sell food during the night, as they say, the Zainab. In Zanzibar, the life near the ocean. The fishermen. But what I like really in photography, when I shoot something like this, I like to have layers in the picture. Layers. Foreground, background, mid. Layers, and to see the depth in the photograph. I don't like the photograph just to be flat. I like it to be layers. Like this, and I used 28 mils lens in this whole trip. It's only one lens and one camera. And the depth of field is so big. I see foreground, background, everything, all sharp. I close an F11 or F16 and just shoot continuous. I used to use Leica camera, which is manual focus. And manual focus, when you use manual focus, it's very hard to adjust the focus in each photograph. So I adjusted just unlimited, or just I adjusted like 3 meters depth with f16, and I just shoot continuously, and I know that everything would come sharp in on my picture. I just concentrate in the composition, that's all. I don't have to adjust in each photograph because I don't have time. Like this, all sharp. Yeah. In the fish market, I just put the camera like West level, like this, and I found this guy just coming toward me, walking. Oh, this is amazing light, amazing. Just I'm pushing. That's all. I'm not concentrating in focusing and concentrating in adjusting. There is no time for adjusting. When you shoot like documentary, like this type of photography, you just adjust it in a way that you can. It will be easy for you to capture the picture immediately. The kids, they play, of course, on the water. And I like this composition when this is the competition between them, who will make a show during jumping to the water. Everyone bring the fish from the ships to the boats to the shore, to the coast, to sell it in the market. And how everyone is showing how can he jump into the water, and what you see that for example, this composition, will be in the foreground, and this is in the mid, and this is in the background, and they are looking for the composition, and you can look for the picture from different angles just to see how all of it. I'm not concentrating in one subject. I'm concentrating in different subjects, different elements. I like this type of photography. This is my work. I like this. That's why I'm using 28 millis, 16, 20. I never used long lens cameras. Always wide angle. Always wide angle. Yes. This is 35 mils. '28. India. Egypt. This is in the faces part of the book. Also, this in India. Nepal. This is in our time, in the part of our time. Some shots like this is in Kenya, Maasai, and in our time, St. Kathrin. Yeah, during I asked the Archbishop. I told him, please, I would like to photograph the praying in St. Kathrin. He said, no, this is forbidden. You can't enter. Nobody enters to the pray during. It's not allowed. I asked him, okay, I will show you all the pictures which I will do. Whatever you want me to throw, I will throw. Whatever you want me to publish in National Geographic, I will publish it. He said, in this case, I will give you the keys to do photographs whenever you want. I asked him, please, can I come in the early morning? He said, yes, okay, at 4 o'clock, can you wake up early? I said, yes, I can. I will be with you at 3 o'clock. And I went with him at 3 o'clock to photograph the praying in St. Kathrin at 3 o'clock. From 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock, they finished. It's all during the pray. In this photograph, I told them, please, can I capture? You use candles, and it looks very like Harry Potter. environment. Can I capture a picture for you? He said, yes. And then he started write. And I keep photographing. And then I asked him, what you are writing? He said, I'm writing, Ashraf is here, and he's taking me pictures with the candlelight to be witnessed. This back. This is very important part. And when I worked in India, sometimes it's very sensitive to capture poor people in photographs. They don't like it, and they look at you like somebody will photograph something. Maybe you will publish it in a way or another, and that hurts them. So they. I try to enter to the community of the pulling rickshaw in Calcutta. And it was so sensitive also for Indians because it's only 48 licensed rickshaws in Calcutta, and they refuse to renew the license anymore to this kind of job in India. So it was very hard to penetrate this community. I went there in the center of Calcutta, and I asked them, how much does it cost me if you take me a tour around the center of the city? The rickshaw guy, he suddenly told me it's 50 rupees. At that time, it equaled about $9 or $8. 50 rupees. Then I told him, okay, I have an idea. He said, what? I told him, I will give you 500 rupees. But instead of you carrying me, I will carry you. He said, how? I said, yeah, no, wait. You will be behind me. I will take you in a tour around Calcutta, the center, and I will pay you about $90. Instead of I pay you $9, I will pay you $90, and I will carry you, not you carry me. We said, okay, fine, let's do it. Then he jumped behind me, and I took the rickshaw, and I started to run in the whole of middle of Calcutta. All the Indians, of course, looks at me, oh, this is a crazy tourist, this is crazy guy, and then after, they knew me very well. Then, after this, I took my camera and I started to photograph. Everybody looked at me, hey, come on, do me a photograph, I'm here. And I started to penetrate the community, and I'm one of them. And the next, it was here, he is, and I was carrying him, pulling him. And then after this, I start to work freely, 100%. Nobody stopped me in India. Oh, this is a guy, we know him very well. He was carrying this guy, and he turned around the whole center. It was something amazing, really. A wonderful day I spent in India, shooting everybody, and everybody's posing for me instead of being shy. And this is the bill where they used to for anybody just to open the streets. It was like this, yeah. Because most of them are barefoot. They have no shoes. And it's very hard to photograph something like this. And it's very hard to penetrate to the community like this. But when you are, after what I did, they give me the opportunity to move freely, and nobody look at me. I'm one of them. This is how, for young photographers, if you want to go into a community, you have to blend with the people. You have to go inside. You have to show them that you are more than them. You can do everything. You are not a part and they are another part. You are one of them. By this way, you will make amazing pictures. Look. Yes. That's it. For any questions, I'm ready. All my colleagues also ready. Any questions?
Thank you for this master class. You have a new fan, I have to tell you. I mean, as a photographer, you see many images, high class, you know, your eye is so used to see pictures and judge them and see defaults, whatever. For me, this was really amazing because you are a true master of light and composition. And it reminded, some shots really reminded me, I told you before, Cartier-Bresson, one of the masters of black and white photography. I have to make this, draw this line. Amazing, I'm really, thank you. Thank you.
By the way, the Magnum photographers, my first, let's say, workshop I made in my life, it was with Abbas Attar, the photographer of Magnum. It was here in Egypt in 1989. He came here in Egypt, and he first of all, he said, I would like to have to make a workshop, and then with photographers, but nobody knew him at that time. And at that time, I went to Egypt Today, the magazine, and they said, "Oh, if you want to learn something, you can meet Abbas Attar, the photographer of Magnum." I said, "Okay, fine, let's see Abbas Attar. I don't know him." And then when I saw Abbas Attar, he said to me, "Let's go in the street, let's photograph." And I saw him with of course, carrying Leica camera. And at that time, I used to have a Zenit Russian camera. I bought it with 50 pounds, and I have the dark room also with it's a Russian also enlarger with another 50 pounds. Yes, the bag, and he has a camera at that time with thousands. And I looked at him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have only a Zenit camera." He said, no, don't worry. You don't have to build up your portfolio with your camera. You build up your portfolio with photographs. It doesn't matter the camera you have. The most important, how to use it and how to build something. And we start together the workshop, and he started to give me really lots of critique in my work and what to do and how to put lots of elements in my photographs. It's just like not a single thing in my photograph. He said, you have to put a source of composition that everybody will look at. When they look to the picture, they have to turn around and concentrate in what is the let's say the center of interest and all the elements which around the picture which help this center of interest to appear more and more. How to eliminate anything distracting the scene of the center of interest from the backgrounds. He started to clarify things like. Then after this, I met Elliot Erwitt from Magnum. Elliot Erwitt is 94 years old, and Elliot Erwitt signed for me in the book. In my book, he wrote, and I made the acknowledgement. Of course, in my book, because Elliot Erwitt is one of the masters of yes, I'm just talking about what she's and also from Magnum, my close friend is Raghu Rai from India, the photographer. So I know a few photographers from Magnum. And when you say Henri Cartier-Bresson, I didn't see him, of course, but he is really a big master. Yeah.
Quick question. Thank you, first of all, for the beautiful photographs, and very much thank you for saying about the equipment not being the critical element. You know, so many young photographers particularly think they are kitting out with the beautiful equipment, and that's going to make the beautiful photographs. So first of all, thank you for that. I did have a question. You said you set your aperture at f/16 and just shot, but you have a number of shots there with people moving, jumping through the air. Was it very, very high-speed film, or what? How did you manage that?
Some of them with films, some of them with digital cameras now.
Oh, I see.
Yes, it's not all analog.
I'm an old guy.
No.
I was thinking film. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I use f/16, sometimes I use f/8, but most of it I try to avoid the adjusting
Yes, your point is very well taken. This is like news photography or documentary photography.
Exactly.
Capture the moment. Again, stunning images. I love that St. Catherine's image of the
Archbishop.
religious men. Yeah, brilliant. Again, that photograph, you captured the candles at the same time as having. Where was the light coming from for that? Because I saw a shadow.
The candles.
Just the candles?
They're just the candles.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Brilliant.
Thank you.
I'm the impatient one. Everybody's work is very different and very interesting. I really found the Sinai work very interesting. I love your work, and I think I've even seen some of your stories in National Geographic. And I'm sorry, the gentleman on the end, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but do you speak English? Do you understand English? Okay. Well, I was deeply moved, actually, by your photographs of empty streets. And I think, first of all, it was fascinating that you made those pictures during COVID when the streets were very empty. And I thought, oh, he should go back and photograph the streets now because they're so crowded. And it would be interesting not to make another book maybe, but in an exhibition. But the other thing that really moved me about this work was that so many of these beautiful older neighborhoods are being torn down. And what you have made is a very important documentation of Cairo. And I find that to be so important, so important. So thank you for doing that, because this is a beautiful city and it's going to change. So I think it has a very important historic value, as all of your work does. I love to see things from the past. So anyway.
طيب طبعا ميرسي على الكلام الجميل ده، بس عايز اقول ان فكره في ناس كتير كانوا بيتكلموا ان انا احط صور جديده في الوقت الحالي عشان تبين ازدحام الاماكن دي وتبقى كومباريزون بين الاثنين. يمكن ده يكون شغل حد تاني، يعني مش لازم يكون كل واحد يعمل كل حاجه، لكن ده احتمال يكون فكره كويسه، بس احتمال يمكن تتعمل قدام يمكن ما تتعملش، لكن ده اللي انا قدرت اعمله. فكره انا ما بشتغلش بصراحه توثيق للأسف، أو التوثيق اللي هو بالصورة التقليدية. لما بشتغل توثيق بشتغل بطريقة اللي أنا شايفه في هذا التوثيق. كون بقى فترة الكوفيد دي فترة استثنائية، وللأسف القاهرة في حالة من الحالات اللي بيسموها تطور، بس هو للأسف مش تطور قوي. فهنشوف طبعا في الكتاب حاجات للأسف بعد شوية مش هنلاقيها من كتر الكباري ومن كتر الحاجات اللي لخبطت شكل القاهرة بشكل عام. فاتعملت دلوقتي، يمكن تكون دي صور بعد كده ما نلاقيهاش، احتمال المدينة هتختلف والشوارع اختلفت منها اوريدي كتير في فترة سنة أو سنة ونص، مش فترة كبيرة أو سنتين. فيعني أتمنى أكون نجحت في هذا الموضوع. بس شكرا.
I want to thank, of course, the three of you. It was quite an experience to follow your thought and look at the pictures. I want to say to Kathrin, what was also extremely interesting is to see your journey, your biography, living there, how you saw this whole place develop. And when we are only traveling from one place to the other, it's amazing to see somebody who was grounded somewhere and could capture the development and evolution of a place. And طبعا Ustaz Ashraf, it was really again and again a real, wonderment to listen to you. But I want to tell something to Adel. I want to tell you that the pictures in an empty Cairo are very breathtaking. But at the same time, when you talk about them, the narration on every picture is also something quite remarkable, because there are empty streets, but your feelings day after day and how you told them now is really a narration. I mean, it is also a very literary catch on a moment and a time in Cairo that we will not, I hope, see again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the three of you and for the public. And please, if you want to see, to have one of the book, we are here. Thank you really for Cairo Photo Week, for all the team and for Marwa to have made it possible. Thank you.